Hello summoners, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we're going to talk about Abyss of Legends and the easy path. Now I did it yesterday, so everything is pretty fresh and I want to talk about my experience, and it could be a rough guide to your run. I will be talking about each individual fight one by one. I'm going to talk about who I used, who are the other best options for those particular fights if you don't have the characters that I do have, like I used for my run. So my team was Aegon, Nick Fury, Human Torch, Simba Supreme and Heimdall. So I think it is probably one of the best teams for the easy path. I also have Dr. Doom, but Simba Supreme is a little bit better for the easy path because of Obsidian and some of these fights. Venom the Duck as well, he would be annoying otherwise. But anyway, so let me talk about each individual fight, starting with Thing. This is a great fight to build up your Aegon, and try not to hit in his block because eventually, like, it is the first fight, so quit a few times until you get a good run. And then when you run out of charges, because once you run out of all charges, you are only allowed to do a limited number of hits. So once that happens, you need to pause the fight and quit to retain your combo, otherwise like they'll get unstoppable and power gain and they'll hit you, your combo will be gone. So this is the fight where it will take revives, is if you want to build up your Aegon, but it's worth it because later on, like at Quake, you're going to have hit 999 hits Aegon, and it's great. But with Thing, like, there were a few runs where I got hit, where something happened and I was not able to quit and retain my combo. But again, the first run, make sure you get a lot of hits, and it's just manage his charges. It's not easy, fighting Thing never is. But I'd say, like, after this fight you're going to have a much better time in the next few fights, because Omega Red, he doesn't have anything special. I built Aegon, I used my SP1s. Also SP1 has, Aegon's SP1 has 6 hits, so while you're fighting Thing, just make sure that he has 9 or below rock stacks when you use your SP1, because otherwise, like, you'll get unstoppable and you don't want that to happen. So Omega Red, use SP1s, bait SP1s, it's an easy fight. Will take like 4 revives, I think. I didn't count individual revives, but like, these fights all roughly take from 3 to 5 revives, all of these initial fights. The only fight that took more than 5 revives, I'd say, is I think Cyclops, and that's pretty much it. Cyclops and then the Collector. But anyways, I'm getting ahead. So after that we have Quake, relatively straightforward fight. Bait her SP1, use Aegon. After this you should have like, even during this fight you should have a 999 combo Aegon and you'll be unblockable. And it's a normal Quake fight. She doesn't have too much going for her. You can get unlucky, like there was one time where she had one aftershock on me and I got stunned. That could always happen, so maybe use a special attack while the aftershocks are going off. Heimdall is just such a lifesaver if you die, and you will get stunned. Limber is a great mastery to run here. But anyways, so we move on to Medusa. So this is the first non-Aegon fight, and I use Simba Supreme here. He works really well. So I think she can get unstoppable. She didn't get unstoppable because I was using Simba Supreme and he nullified everything, and you can nullify those Fury, gain 100 genetic potential, use your SP3 and you just do a lot of damage, a lot of bleed damage. So most cosmic characters here, I don't think any cosmic character here is immune to bleed, and they all gain a bunch of buffs. So this is just a party for Simba Supreme. And I would recommend you to have Mystic Dispersion. I had 3 points in it, which helped a lot against Venom the Duck, but we're going to talk about that in a second. And then you move on to Mephisto, which is one of the easiest fight if you have Void or Human Torch. So up to this point you don't really need any particular character for any of these fights. They are mostly straightforward, except Thing, I guess. Thing, you can bring in a slow character, maybe. I think I've seen She-Hulk solo it, and I've seen Stealth Suit Spider-Man do pretty well against him. But anyways, so here I'd say Human Torch with the pre-fight ability is amazing. I soloed it, very easy fight, didn't even take, like, it's 1 minute 40. I recorded it, might have like there were 2 fights I soloed in Abyss, and I really got close with CMM. And if you bring like Doctor Doom then, or even Mephisto, then CMM is just very easy. But I soloed Mephisto and then Calubsidian. Calubsidian is just a joke. He's not even there. Just don't count Calubsidian. He's definitely going to be soloed. So Mephisto, Human Torch, you use pre-fight, you gain a bunch of Nova whatever the charges are called, flare charges? No, but whatever they are called, you build them up, you do some insane damage, 1 minute 40 seconds, and the fight will be over. Void, I'd say it will probably take more time, but it's very safe fight. Once you get 2 petrify up, and if you have a high signature level Void, then you'll have Fear of the Void. Once you get Fear of the Void, it will just never fall off, because you'll convert the debuffs again, and yeah. So it should be a pretty easy fight with both of those characters. Void in general, I'd say, is a great replacement for Human Torch if you don't have him. And then we have CMM, very easy with any Mr. character. She was taking 85, like the damage cap every single hit, and yeah, it's pretty easy fight. Let's move on to Ghost. So I use, wait a second, who did I use? I use Aegon here. You have 699 Aegon. A hit combo 999 combo Aegon, so it will not be a long fight. You don't have to care about charges anymore. You can use the heavy attack thing. I didn't, but so it has 1 node. Whenever she has like 10 of those charges, she gets power. I think 1 bar of power. I'm not sure how much power she gets, but she gets some power. But special attacks, like, they are easy to bait. Just keep an eye on that charge. It is blue colored charge, if I remember correctly. One day, and I'm starting to forget this stuff, but yeah, it's a pretty easy fight. You don't have to be worried about this. Now, this is one interesting fight. I'm an Infinity War. Human Torch, if you have him awakened with the pre-fight ability, I had just an amazing run. So far, like, I'd say for Abyss, there are very few fights where you actually need potions, and this is one of them. Because with Aegon, it doesn't really matter. With Human Torch, because as you gain more of those charges, your damage goes up, and it's easier to maintain a high temperature. This fight, I'd say, heal your Human Torch to full health, use that pre-fight ability, and it's like till 15%, you're just going to melt him away. The initial start would be slower, but then it's a very easy fight, and you just do an insane amount of damage. The last 15% is tricky. I used Corvus Glaive. I used Aegon, and Corvus Glaive would also work, I guess. But I used Aegon. You can use Void because he will control the power, which is nice. The power gain is just insane. Then you have to pay a lot of special attacks, but if you don't have them, then even Torch can technically do the final 15%, but it's annoying. The final 15% is definitely tough. Then we move on to Joe Fix It, and I used Aegon here. It is a weird fight, so I started it and he started regenerating, and I was really scared. So I watched some videos on YouTube. Just ignore the regeneration, he'll get it in the start of the fight, and then he doesn't, so it's fine. So I think he has a chance to put debuffs on you, but because at this point you'll have a high combo Aegon, he won't put debuffs on you, so that's fine. And he has a lot of health, I think. Let me see real quickly. Yeah, he has a 5.7 million health, so it will take a few revives, but he'll go down very quickly with Aegon. You can't gain, is that this fight where you can't gain buffs? I think this is a never mind, I won't say it because I'm not sure, but it's not a hard fight basically. Then Mordo, I'd say this is one area where Void would have been just so great, but I used Human Torch. He did well. Again, another fight where I would suggest healing up. So something funny happened. I was using Human Torch, and I died a couple of times with this guy, and then I got pre-fight, had a great run, used his SP3, It didn't kill me. He started regenerating. We had a lot of incinerators, it reversed, and he died. Like his final 10%, and he just reverse regen him to death. So yeah, that is Void, Torch, both would be really good here. Then make sure you don't go like this is much better than the Labyrinth path. It's very hard to misclick, but this is one area where it could definitely happen, so don't go for the Deadpool one, otherwise you will be in trouble, because there is an annoying cork there as well, and yeah, you don't want that to happen. Just stick to the yellow line and you should be fine. So then you have Venom the Dark, very easy, very cheesy with Symbiote Supreme if you have Mystic Dispersion. So if you have Mystic Dispersion, whenever he uses a special one, bait his SP1, he gains a ton of buffs, and then use your SP3, it will nullify all the buffs. You'll get so much power that you back to SP3. You just keep spamming SP3. It is soloable. I have seen a clip. I didn't solo it. It took me 3 revives, I think, or 4 maybe. But it is a pretty easy fight. Like, it's a lot of SP3s. But yeah, I'd say just stick to, it's a very easy fight, because just keep using that SP3. And I had 3 points in Mystic Dispersion. 4 would have been better, because sometimes when I was nullifying, I wasn't like immediately getting back to SP3, but it was close enough. Then we have Howard the Duck, Aegon, longer fight. Make sure like at 50%, 25% he has a chance to regenerate and put Thunder Shock, Quack. Didn't happen with me. He didn't get the regeneration, he didn't get the Thunder Quack, yeah, nothing too exciting here. It's just an easy fight. Then with Hyperion, I used Symbiote Supreme once again, and he was just great. Nullified all the power gains, went for SP3, used some big SP tools, bleeded him a lot. Pretty easy fight, 3 revives I think here. And then you have the champion, another great fight for Symbiote Supreme. Just keep nullifying. He didn't get unstoppable at all. It never got his Primal Fury, and yeah, it was very straightforward fight with Symbiote Supreme. Just after the first SP3, it's pretty easy. Then we have Cyclops, which is one of the most fun fights in Abyss, easy path. It is very annoying, but very fun at the same time. So there are 2 modes, I don't remember the name, but the first, so he will gain power, and it's on cycle, like hitting him, he won't get any power, which is great. But then when he does gain power, he has 2 modes. So in one, like the first one, you can't dex. If you dex, it will fail and you get blasted by SP1, and if you don't have Heimdall synergy, you're dead. And if you have Heimdall synergy, then it will save you and you can do some hits, and yeah. But Cyclops, so you have to parry it. If you block, you can block it as well. You will take a lot of block damage too. So I recommend parrying it, and you will take 0 damage. It's great. Parrying Cyclops special. It's not the most natural feeling, but after 2 tries, I got used to it. And then when he uses his special attack for the second time, it's unblockable, so you can't block it. So you have to keep track of what happened last time and then react to that. It's not random, like you know what's going to happen, but like once you get 80-90 hits into a fight, you just forget. At least I just forgot and got blasted. But it's a fun fight. Make sure, like, if you're too aggressive and because you have I used Aegon here, by the way, you have an unblockable Aegon, so there is a chance like you play really aggressively, they don't throw a special, but that's not a great thing. They will get again the power from the meter and they'll get to SP3, blast you. And yeah, this fight took me a lot of revives. I'd say at least, it went in double figures, but it's still a good fight. Then we have Loki. He is not particularly hard. He has the power gain, which is a bit annoying, like his awaken ability, like he gains power till when he doesn't have 1 bar of power. I mostly baited his SP2. Simple Aegon fight. I guess Human Torch would have also worked. I used Aegon though. Then we have Aegon, another simple Aegon fight. Aegon versus Aegon. Yeah, never mind. That Joe Fixit fight was not that. So this Aegon fight is where you can't gain any bars. It's a relatively slow fight. You can gain buffs when you use special attacks, so that's one thing. You can still parry. It says something about your offensive ability accuracy reduction, but you can still parry, don't worry about that. You just won't gain the combo shield or those furies when you're hitting the opponent, so you're not going to do as much damage. You're not going to become unblockable here in this fight, but that's fine. You're still doing plenty of damage. A fury wise, but he'll go down. Then we have Unit Man is the best character for Aegon, but again it didn't take too many. I expected it would be more than 2800, but luckily it wasn't too bad. Then we have Invisible Woman, and this is the first fight where I used Nick Fury. He's great for this fight. Just keep bleeding, gain. So I killed off Nick Fury at the start for the attack boost, and here I use a revive on him, but then he just gets like the Fury, so you use SP1, then you can't be missed, so even when she goes invisible you can still hit her. Just keep her special attack in check and you should be fine. Just play aggressively, and I didn't solo it, but it could be. I have seen rank 3 6-star Nick Fury solo Invisible Woman. And then we have Collapsidium. That's not even a fight. It's very easy, like as long as you bring a good nullify champion. I bet Voodoo or Morningstar would be great here, because he gets a lot of buffs with his SP1, and you nullify them, you do a crazy amount of damage. It's just a mad party for a Simba Supreme. Easy solo there. Then we have the final collector, really annoying, but I targeted to do at least 5% damage in every single fight, and for the most part I succeeded. There were 2-3 runs where I was not able to do that. There were 2-3 runs where I did really well. And Aegon, I have seen a YouTuber solo this collector with Aegon, which is just crazy. And if you search that, I'm sure you'll find it. It's in another language, I think French, but I'm not sure. But it was crazy. But for me, like I had some good runs where like you can block his special attacks. When you see a collector of this PI, you wouldn't imagine that you will be able to block his special, but you can. And I was not great at, like, I evaded his SP1 a little early and got hit by it and got stunned, and that was not great. His SP2 much easier to evade in my opinion, like not the full dex, just the final part. But Heimdall is the MVP here. He helped so much in the final phase where he just becomes unstoppable and stuff. And yeah, you get hit, you become Heimdall's energy kicks in, and when you get hit with Aegon, you just gain those furies and you're doing like 20,000 plus medium attacks. It's just a great time. And here, because it's a fight where you can, but usually you shouldn't expect to do more than, I guess you can't expect, but I wasn't expecting to do more than 5%, and I've been really happy with some of those runs. In total, I think I used less than 20. I used around 20 revives here, but ended up taking him down. Got a 6-star doom for the reward. If you haven't seen, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the last opening video, I also got a 6-star Collapsidian, which is great. But yeah, that is my Abyss. That was it zoomed out a little too much, but that was my Abyss run. If you don't have Aegon, it's going to be much harder. Sabretooth with you can go with Corvus. Corvus works well. I'd say you don't have Aegon, then Corvus is the second. You need to Corvus if you don't have Aegon, because Sabretooth with synergy could be great for clearing the path, but at the end for the collector you would need Aegon. You would need Corvus if you don't have Aegon. So yeah, that is pretty much it. They were worth it for me, but if you don't have the right team, you're not missing out on much. It's yeah, it's a T5TC and Awakening Gem, but overall, like, if you maybe don't have the right 6 stars and stuff, like even after opening the rewards, still not Thronebreaker, so it didn't really do much. I mean, the 6-star Doom, again, that was just luck though. That could have opened a basic, Doom popped up. It could have happened any other way. I have like so many 6 stars, but it didn't happen before. Great way to end this for me. And do let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Like this video, share with your alliance, and bye bye.